In today's lesson, we're going to look at different types of climate that are throughout the United States. However, keep in mind that these climates are also in different parts of the world. As I describe each one, see if you can think of a place or a location that you think might have this particular kind of climate. The first one is the tropical rainforest. It's very hot and wet, very rainy, and the tropical rainforest is located around the equator area. So there are places in countries like in continents like Africa and Asia that have this very hot and wet climate year-round. Look at all the greenery that grows in these areas. The broadleaf forest. This is common in parts all over the world. This is an area that's not too hot or too cold. You usually have different seasons of spring, summer, and winter, and these are leaves that change color each fall. These would include trees such as the oak and the maple tree. Does this sound like a place that you might live? The needleleaf forest. This would include trees that we typically call evergreens. These have these longer, spikier needles that are sometimes stiff, but they can survive very cold weather. We're going to see these mostly in northern regions and particularly at the tops of mountains. The mountain. Mountains vary in what types of plant life they have because some mountains are very high and cold, but some mountains can be very warm and have a lot of life. This picture shows a combination of green trees as well as a lot of rocks and sand. So it depends on how the climate changes in the mountain region. The dry woodland is a dry, hot area. Can you guess where this picture might be from? That's correct. That's from a place in Africa. So during most of the year, it's going to be tannish brown in color because it's so dry, but they typically go through a short rainy season where everything turns green for a short period of time. The tundra. This is the coldest of all of our regions. It is so cold that this would be the places like the Arctic Circle and at the tops of the very highest mountains in the world, such as the Himalayan mountains, such as Mount Everest. In the tundra regions, very little to no life grows. Usually you're going to have things like lichen, which are the little green plants that grow on rocks. And sometimes the ground is frozen solid through year-round, hundreds and thousands of feet deep. The Mediterranean climate. This is characterized by a hot, dry summer and a warm, wet winter. Guess where it gets its name from? This is the area located around the Mediterranean Sea, which is the body of water south of the continent of Europe and north of the continent of Africa. The hot desert. A desert region receives little to no rain. Those areas that do get a little bit of rain have some plant life, but they don't survive very long. Most of the times it's very hot and dry here, and the sun shines all day long. At night, desert regions tend to get cooler. In all of these different regions, we can also experience extremes in climate. Extremes means way over here or way over here. This is a picture of two extremes. On the left, we have a picture representing a drought. A drought is a period of time where there's no rain and it causes everything to be very dry and eventually for all plant life to die. This can be a hardship for the plants, animals, and people who live in that area. On the other side, we have a picture of a tropical storm. Tropical storms are typically hot, very windy, and bring a lot of rain. Both extremes can cause a lot of damage to people's homes and cities. As you can see, the climate varies a great deal depending on where you live in the United States. Think about where you live. What type of climate do you think you live in? Ask an adult what they think and have a conversation about it. Understanding your climate goes a long way in being able to understand your community.